Welcome back. Thank you for joining Nathan Kottkamp and myself for our conversation on issues facing senior care facilities. And today we're going to talk about everyone's favorite topic, compliance programs. We know you love compliance programs. So Nathan,
we love them too.
Nathan, kick us off. Talk to us a little bit about compliance programs.
Well, that's what lawyers are for, is to draft up compliance plans. What our clients need to do, of course, is implement them. We have a lot of clients that ask us to help them with policies and procedures. And where there's a gap between policy and procedure and practice, that's where your legal risk is. And I guarantee you that's exactly where the investigator is going to hone in when you get a complaint. So much of this series has been talking about crisis response, how to handle investigations. What do you do when the boots are on the ground and it feels like you're, under the white hot lights? You are. And if you've got a compliance program and you're following your compliance program, you're probably going to be in pretty good shape. If you have a compliance program and you're not following it all, that's a problem, obviously. If you have a compliance program and you have some just minor faults, you're doing a pretty good job, but you haven't done everything, you're going to be in a way better position than if you have none at all. And then obviously, if there is no compliance program and something goes wrong, that's the worst case scenario. And we obviously want to be sure that none of our clients are in that position.
Yeah, and Nathan, a compliance program is critical, and it really does help mitigate your risk for any type of investigation, complaint, any type of deficiency or sanction, as long as you're following them. And having a good one in place, you're absolutely correct, is critical. But I want to talk briefly about another benefit of compliance program, because we always talk about compliance programs as, oh, this is something we have to do to stay out of trouble. But they can also help I do a lot of reimbursement work, in particular Medicaid, and a good, strong compliance program oftentimes will find underpayment, where you provided services that were reimbursable and you weren't billing for them. Or, you're going through your compliance program and realizing you didn't bill for things, or you billed improperly and were entitled to more revenue from it, higher reimbursement. So a compliance program can also have benefits, not just as far as keeping you out of trouble, but actually help make sure that you are maximizing your organization and how it operates.
Yeah, in fact, I couldn't agree more. Let me give two more examples in sort of the things that I do all the time. HIPAA is a great place. We see compliance programs where there's an annual training, it's a half hour, and you sort of click through things, which is, yeah, you're complying, you're going through the process. But if you really boost that up and you really engage your staff, you're gonna have a whole lot less HIPAA risk. You're gonna have happier residents and their families because information is flowing appropriately. And so that's one. The other one that I deal with a lot is advanced directives, and having advanced care plans that are real, that are in the file, that are ready to be implemented. That goes to the core of care. And a lot of folks, they have a policy on advanced directives, but they're not putting into their actual compliance practices. So these are just three examples, yours and mine, of places where the compliance program, when you sort of step back, it gets to the core of what you're supposed to be doing. And sometimes it's good to have these benchmarks and make sure that you are on a regular cadence, looking at your policies, looking at your practices, so that you're always staying within the realm of what you intended to do in the very first place.
That's right. And a good compliance program, you know what your major risk factors are depending on what you do in senior care. You know what they are. Good compliance plan helps address those, helps you conduct self-audits, make sure your documentation is right for billing, but making sure that you have a compliance plan. And Nathan, I know you and I are both real big fans of the old KISS statement, keep it simple. If you keep it simple and you train your staff and you document that training took place, you're doing a great job kind of implementing that compliance plan. And that will save you so much trouble, so much heartache, so much money, and so much time. And so we really recommend it. Happy to answer any questions on compliance programs if you ever have them. Nathan, you want to close us out?
It was great chatting with you about this. My only last comment is just be sure that you have some sort of cadence to it and that someone is responsible. We see all the time facilities have a great compliance plan and it has these timing things like we're going to review X, Y, or Z on an annual basis. And it just gets lost in the shuffle. That's a great compliance plan element, but if it doesn't get done, that's a real problem. So make sure that you have someone who is the designated compliance officer, and it doesn't have to be their sole job, but make sure someone's staying on top of this stuff. And that's the way to keep it current. It's the way to keep you out of trouble.
And if your compliance officer is not the most popular person on your staff, they're doing their job right.
Exactly.
So anyway, thank you for joining us. We look forward to talking with you again. Thank you.